right, so welcome. How to create lead magnets for authors. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me today. I promise you're going to learn a lot and you're going to think about lead magnets in a very different way than how you have maybe in the past. Now, what I have done to create this is I actually have sat through probably 8 hours of training on just lead magnets in general. But it was very generic marketing, how to do it as a marketer. And then what I do is I translated all of that into how we can apply this as authors. The reason why this is so difficult is because this is so difficult. This is what people go to university for and study and get their degrees in marketing and then go work for big marketing execs. And they learn this, on the job. And so as independent authors, as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, we kind of have to pick the best of what people are doing and then apply it to our situation. And of course, our budgets are not what a big marketing agency has. But at the end of this, you're going to really understand how to create a lead magnet. You're going to have lots of ideas for your lead magnets. And you're going to start to see them differently. You're going to start to see them everywhere. And I would encourage you to screenshot any lead magnets that you see that you really like, where you're like, okay, I really like that one, so you can model it later. All right, so we are going to go over the essential elements that your lead magnet needs to have. It's very important that it hits these things, and we're going to go through it. The different types of lead magnets that we can have as authors, how to send traffic to your lead magnet, and then, of course, looking at the results and analytics to see what works and what doesn't, so that you're not wasting your time or spending too long with lead magnets that aren't resulting in any type of sales or clicks. And then, of course, resources so you can start implementing right away. So if you don't already have your notebook out, feel free to take your notebook and pen so you can take notes. Of course, you'll get the replay, but it's always good to jot down as we go. Okay, so this is really designed to help you build your blueprint. We can't really get into how much customization in the 60 minutes. So you're going to have to like mix and match and like write down what's working for you. Also, as we all know, marketing is a bit of a game. It's experimentation. So we need to try different things and be open to new things. We are going to stay focused on the end goal of this, where we want to go. We want to build an audience. We want to sell more books. We want to have more conversations with readers. We want to break free from social media, whatever we want to do. Stay focused on the end goal because it's going to get a little tricky and sometimes frustrating. And we may not always see the results when we want to see them. So when you stay focused on your end goal, then you're not so worried about the results. And sometimes we have to do things before we see results. And you have to keep going and stick it out. And then the results will come eventually. So there's a little bit of faith involved as well. And for now, I want you not to worry about the how. We're going to focus on exactly what your lead magnet needs to contain so that you can start building quality lead magnets. I know some of you on the call have experience with this, and I would welcome your feedback and all your comments when we get to the question section. Okay, so again, before we could get started, we could spend just, this is not a psychology session. But there are a lot of mental hurdles you need to overcome to become effective at marketing. And, I spoke with a lot of you on the call and, talking about, I don't know, and this and that, and I don't want to bother people. Marketing is not bothering people. Marketing is what we have to do to get eyes in front of our work. So there are, the latest data, 50,000 new ebooks are published on Amazon every single month. 50,000. Okay, so nobody is going to just kind of like stumble upon your books and then convert and buy your book unless you are directing them there with intention and a little bit of marketing spend. Okay, so we have to do this. So a little background on email marketing. I know you're all here to learn more about it. Lead magnet is the beginning of email marketing. We can't do email marketing without attracting people in some way. So with email marketing, it's really great because this is permission-based marketing. So on social media, everyone grants permission to be, spoken to on social media. That's on the platform. But with email, we're not just taking people's emails and emailing them, like we're asking them, can I have your email? And they're saying yes. So it is permission based. They opted in, they actively said, yes, I want to receive your email. So everyone should feel good about sending emails to people on your list. Another pro is you will always have access to your list. Your emails may end up in the promotion folder or spam folder, but you have those emails in some way. And that contains a tremendous amount of data. We can find out, where these people come from, what systems they use. Are they browsing on the mobile or desktop, any of that? So there's a lot of data that we can glean once we have demographic data in the emails. Emails help you break free from the social media algorithms and trends. I don't know about you. I don't really want to be creating content nonstop for social media for followers. I want to create content for people who are as invested in me as I am in them. That's where I want to be. And social media is really noisy. And so I want to use email marketing to foster genuine connections with people. This is also a great way to test the topics that your readers love the best. When you're sending out emails, you can tell by, the open rate and the click-through rate, like, are people resonating? When I ask people for their opinions, are they replying to them? What are the topics that get your readers really going? So you can see that in your email analytics, as long as you're using email consistently. You can also segment and personalize your messages for better conversions. So if I know that I have a bunch of teachers on my list, I can send them emails for their classroom and back to school and things like that, so that it's relevant and helpful for the people on the list. And again, we don't want to be clogging up people's emails for no reason. So segmenting and personalizing is really very helpful. Also, it's super cheap to get started. Most of these email systems start with a free trial or free up to a certain number of subscribers. So cost is really no barrier to getting started. This is like the cheapest marketing that we can do, and it has really a ton of power behind it. Also, if at any point you want to approach a traditional publisher, they love authors who have an existing audience and have access to that existing audience through email. They also love, social media and all that social proof. But if you say, I have an email list of 5,000 readers, they're gonna be like, yes, love it, love to see it. Now, we can't get away from social media marketing, and there will be some aspects of social media that are incorporated into this lead magnet approach. So it's not possible to get away from social media unless you want to just do blogging and podcasting and do all of that. But the best way to really get in front of people is through social media. So it is important. We have to embrace it in some way. It's good for organic and for paid marketing. It's great for awareness and engagement. The downside is that algorithms are changing. Following trends can be fun. It can also be exhausting. And as we all know, the algorithms are constantly changing, and you don't own your followers. You don't necessarily are able to get your content in front of them time and time again. You don't know who's seeing your content. You don't know who's clicking, all of those things, because you don't own your social media at all. Going viral can be great. It can be also horrible. It can be really great for sales. It can also be really horrible for your mental health or boundaries. So it's really not the simplest thing to navigate. We do need to navigate it, but all the advice that you're going to get from this, you need to customize for the social media platforms that you're using. If you're using Instagram, I'm counting on you to understand how all of these platforms work so that you can leverage it best. Also, one thing to note is that social media does not want their users being taken off the platform. So if it's that, click the link in the bio, but you can't write link in bio anywhere. You have to say link in bio. You have to like misspell it so people know, or you do an arrow, or you do something else. You need to experiment with different ways. If you're like, no one's clicking on the link in my bio, could be because they really don't want people leaving the platform at all. So just keep that in mind. That's why if you have a podcast or a website where you can direct people, a lot of times it's much easier to get those clicks and conversions, even if it's not possible on social media. So, okay, so all of that is a disclaimer. Let's jump into the lead magnet. Now, lead magnet is such like a gross marketing term, but what it is it is a thing that it can be paid. It doesn't have to be free, but generally we associate with free things. The great lead magnets generate interest and desire for your paid offer. So it's a lot of people are like, oh, they want the lead magnet. No, we want the lead magnet to generate interest and desire for the paid offer. Otherwise, you just have a lot of people who are interested in the lead magnet and they don't actually want the thing that you're selling. Okay. And so we really want the lead magnet we create to do this really important step of generating the interest and desire for the paid offer. That means it needs to be as good or better than the paid offer, or something that is like people are like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe they gave this to me for free. This is wonderful. I want more of what this person is offering. So high quality. Um, Mistake number one with lead magnets, I see this all the time. It's almost an afterthought by people. Authors are so focused on creating the book and writing and editing and formatting that they're not thinking, how am I going to get this out there? So it's an afterthought. And we can really tell because it doesn't really work. It's a low value offer. It's like a worksheet or a thing, and it's just very low value, or it's not answering a problem that people really have, or it's not generating interest or desire into the paid offer. And so authors get really frustrated with it. They're unfamiliar with it, with marketing. They don't understand it, and they're just like, oh, I hate this. It feels gross. I don't like it. Okay, we can see why, because it's not great. The fix is to create something that your readers really want, that's tied directly to the paid offer, to the book. So what is something that your readers really, really, really want that is tied to your story? There has to be something. There's always something. We just have to be prepared to experiment until we find the thing that works. The way it normally works, you're told by someone somewhere, you need to build your list. And then you're like, I don't know how to do that. And so we run giveaways on social media to get followers. Maybe you get a few followers, maybe you get follows and follows. I don't know. Maybe you run paid traffic to your freebie via ads, but a very small percentage of people do anything, take any action. And then maybe your followers click on the link in the bio, but it's a very small percentage that would do that. So if you have 1,000 followers, maybe you get 4 or 10 who click on the link. So it can be extremely frustrating. You have spent time, money, and effort, and then you launch thinking that you have this great, following and all these people, and you've spent all this money, and then crickets, and then frustration. And the hard part about doing a lead magnet when you are crowdfunding specifically is that you don't know until you launch the campaign if the efforts are going to have paid off. If you already have an existing product and you are retroactively doing the freebie, the lead magnet, you can then see, okay, is this turning into sales? Is this actually helping? Am I directing my people? So it's a little easier to, it takes the stress out of it a little and turns it into more of a fun experiment, as opposed to a lot of pressure onto the crowdfunding campaign. So just something to think about, or any pre-sales campaign, is that you may not be able to adequately assess how well your lead magnet is working until you have an actual product to track the sales through. Okay, mistake number 2 with lead magnets is that it just doesn't generate any demand for the paid offer. So it's good in itself, possibly, but it's not the necessary link. It's not the missing step. I'm talking about coloring worksheets. As a children's book author who works with children's book authors, I see this all the time. I'm like, there's no demand for the paid book from the coloring worksheet. It's just a busy activity that we're giving parents or that we're supplying teachers. It's not actually creating demand. Maybe it's generating awareness, maybe it's generating interest, but it's not creating demand for like the finished product, for like the whole thing. So we have to up level. We have to provide more. Same thing with checklists. No one wants your checklist. No. A generic ebook, especially with the advent of AI, these are going to be everywhere. A generic ebook that is information found from an AI generated list, and it's low educational content, and it's not going to ultimately result in sales. And then also a big mistake some people do is that it's difficult to access, or there's too many fields to fill in, or you're asking for like city and state when like that is not needed for this downloadable thing. And so there may be other issues with your lead magnet. Okay, so this is really the core of what a lead magnet is for everybody. Okay. I'm gonna use my little point here. Okay, so lead magnet is in the middle of this. So we have our paid offer. This goes for everyone. So this is service, this is product, this is every business. You have your paid offer. And that paid offer contains something, an overarching belief. This is like the main takeaway from your book. And I'm going to translate this for authors in a second. There's an overarching belief. There is a process. There's a framework. There is an approach that you have. And this is more if you're in the nonfiction world, that this translates very nicely into, which is convenient. For fiction, it's a little different. We have to tap into emotions. We have to tap into other things. But there's an overarching belief for everyone. There is. So your book, even a silly rhyming, like little cutesy little rhyming children's book about, bodily functions, there's an overarching belief there that's deep, that we have to tap into, that we have to find, and that we have to find that our readers care about. That's the paid offer. The freebie, the lead magnet, is how we use this, how we experience this, how we tap into this. And then the finish line is the outcome that your audience desires the most. So like they're going to get in the car and we're going to get them there. That's the book gets them to the outcome that they want. And the freebie helps them do that. But in order for the freebie to be effective, they have to buy the car. Otherwise, we're just giving away worksheets and checklists, and it's not actually helpful. They need the process, they need the framework, they need the service, they need the product to get to the finish line. That's how this works. And the most important thing is how we describe this, and which of the outcomes we discover our audience really, really, really wants the most. This is the work. This is the hardest part. So for authors, the story may have emotional transformations. It may have like actual, transformation in there, lessons learned. It could just be entertaining. It could be educational. It could be, your experience. It could be a fictional story. It could be something, but there is emotional transformation here. The lead magnet or freebie is more of your writing. Okay. And it needs to be tied to the story. And I'm going to go through some examples. It needs to be something. Now, again, if you have nonfiction story, this is much easier because you could have a lead magnet that is, describing the process of how you came up with your transformational process to get you from, depressed to success. I'm just literally making this up. And so it's like, here's how I came up with my framework, and this by the framework here. You're introducing people to the paid offer here to get them to where you want them to go, to get them to what your book promises. Most people and most children's book authors really struggle because I think they're not looking deep enough into all the benefits that their story has. And I understand because it's a lot harder to find deep meaning in like 500 words. And it's really hard to like quantify like bedtime stories and, a 32-page picture book. So I understand how difficult it is, but this is what we need to do. Okay. More explanations are coming. All right. So with nonfiction lead mags, we have to be super specific and quantify what is the need or problem that we are solving, because there's going to be a lot of language around it. So again, this can be the first steps to the outcome. This can like introduce the process. It can explain what the process is, or it can like prove this major belief that they need to buy into to buy your book. So if I am going to read, I'm just thinking like, what's the how to get rich dad that I forget. Maybe Smart Women Finish Rich. I'm just thinking of that one. If it's like you need to invest in $1,000 a year, starting when you're 21 years old, you'll have $1 million by the time you're. I need to see that. I need to believe in that before I'm willing to buy the book. So that would be a really good lead magnet. And it has to create interest and desire in the story for me to go there. The must-have elements that every lead magnet has to have, we have to know what the end goal is. What is the point of building this audience? And then once we know that, we're going to have a very specific hook, copy, call to action, and the creative. The hook, these are the words you're going to repeat every single time. I'm going to show you examples. The copy, we can look at book reviews of comparison titles to look at copy, but the copy has to, explain the story and really be, interesting. Like why should someone sign up? And this is the hook for your lead magnet, not for your book. Those are different hooks. They could be the same. But generally this is going to be for the lead magnet, unless your book is the lead magnet. And I'll show you that in a minute. The call to action, clearly this is the element, what do you want people to do? Do you want people to download? Do you want people to reply to you? Do you want people to comment, like, follow? What do you want them to do? And then of course the creative is video is number one. Okay, it's really important that we start using video more and more and more. Image and visuals that we use to stop the scroll. So different creative. So if I say, you need different creative, it's like change it up. Let's try a video or a GIF or something instead. Reels are huge. Okay, so examples of a service provider ad. These are everywhere. And you can search what ads are live right now. If you type in Meta Ads Library, you can see every single ad that is live. And if you're in the EU, there's a transparency law right now that they have to show inactive ads as well. So I can go back, I think, like 3 months with the Yana Bishop and see all the ads and all the creatives that she's created. So the hook, gain the confidence to run your own ads. It's pretty good. The creative, she stitched together these testimonials. Those are screenshots that it actually looks like a conversation, but it's not. These are screenshots. Call to actions, learn more. That's pretty limited. That's just what Meta gives you. And then here's the copy. So you can see what type of copy she's putting in there. Do you want to learn how to easily master the process and create ads that actually make money? I get it. I've been there. So there's a lot of identifying the problem, empathizing. Here's who it's for: female entrepreneurs who want to learn ads the easy way. I'm going to make this easy for you. It's not going to be overwhelming. Click here. Make it super easy for people to say yes, because people are looking to say no. Okay. And I didn't even mention this. I'm sharing these without judgment. Not all of these are great examples, but I'm just sharing what's out there. Sharing these without judgment. These were in, because when I was, when I'm searching the internet, I just find these things. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So here's the copy. I'm not sure there's a hook in this one. I couldn't really find the hook. I'm giving away my first chapter of my ebook for free. If you want a sneak peek of my new ebook on succulent care, opt in below before the timer reaches 0. After that, this content won't be available again until public release. So there's a little bit of a timely action in there. She's just collecting email address. I would have done first name as well, but it's pretty easy, pretty simple. The creative is succulent. I probably would have put a book cover in there. I don't see a hook. I would have changed the copy to be a bit more, talking about, the problems. Maybe, this is the landing page. There may have been more, problems. Like, are you always killing your succulents? Here, be sure to download my first chapter. It's for free right now. Examples of what you can do. Okay, the next one. Today, circled. You've waited long enough. You're sick of watching other people on Instagram get paid well. Well, it feels like you're going nowhere. The only difference between them as you is they took the first step. Click, I'm ready to take the first step. Okay, so there's some repetition here. People love repetition. Don't be afraid to repeat. If you're like, I am out of ideas, just try one that repeats things. I don't even remember what this is for. Okay, I don't even remember. But it's pretty simple. It's bright yellow. There's a big button. I know exactly where to push. That they're indicating with the arrow. This is the directional thing. There's also no hook in this one either. I don't know. Today, I don't know. There's no hook here. But that's okay. They don't need it. Okay, here's another one. The hook. 27 emails for my actual 100K course launch. That looks pretty compelling. The creative is this kind of clip arty image with 27. She put 27 multiple times. I'm letting you swipe my entire live launch. Download now. That's pretty cool. I like how she put like download now. Like you can do it. Since I've learned more, she's already like, go ahead and do it. Like download free. There's free there. She doesn't put free here. She put free right on the image. And then here is the content. She used lots of emojis. She actually introduces who she is. Super solid. Okay. So this is nonfiction. Nonfiction is almost like super easy. It's almost like cheating to start with nonfiction. But we're going to go to fiction now. You still need to be super specific because readers of fiction have wants and desires and emotions. They want entertainment. They want to go on a story. They want to disappear from real life. People who love fiction are looking for escape. They're looking for this. And fiction is where comp titles mean almost way more than anything else. I want to know, is this a mix between Hunger Games and Handmaid's Tale? Is this what are the two things I'm already familiar with that are going to be the best match? So if you've already done that work, this is where all that work comes into handy because you need to tell people in your hook what your comps are so they know what to expect. Again, your lead magnet or freebie can be an excerpt for the first few chapters. You have so much story to work with. You could, if you had a book of poems, you could do poems, and say, download my 10 most heartbreaking poems, and, click here to read the rest of my poems. You can give them the entire story. Children's books are in here, in fiction. You can give them the entire story if you want. If you do, I have an idea. If you do give them the entire story, I would put the story up for sale, either on your website, on Amazon, wherever, and then have them download for free if they give you their information. They will value it more knowing that it costs somebody else money. It's this weird psychological thing. You can do a short story or a novella that's in the universe. You could do like a pre-chapter, a chapter that introduces, the scene, an extra. You could do other things, bonus chapters. You could do alternate endings or ending. You could do other things. But no matter what, the core takeaway is it has to create interest and desire in the story itself. That people, after they finish your freebie, want to continue to read the book. I'm going to click here to buy because I want to keep reading. All right, great example. Ingrid Seymour, she was on the Page Starter podcast with me. She's done like 57 books. I can't remember, but it's a ton. Okay, she's been doing this for forever. So she's experimented with a million things. Her call to action, join my newsletter, sign up now. She's very clear. You join my newsletter and you get this ebook. The copy is probably straight from Amazon. It's the book synopsis, probably on Amazon. And then the hook is down here. If you enjoy Ilana Andrews, K.F. Breen, Shane Mayer, to prepare a witty and fierce heroine, step into the mate tracker agency and find your soulmate. So there's a hook there. I almost would have added a little bit more, but it's vampire and werewolves. So that's cool if you love vampire and werewolves. Anyone who knows those authors would know okay, it's in this genre. And then she gives you the origin story. This is the origin story. So the origin story before the series, before getting into the Mate Tracker Agency series is here. So she's setting it up. So you get book 0 and then you can continue. So she's written so much that she's like, you get, book one. And the more you write, the more you can do. Okay. Another children's book. I'm not seeing a hook. Don't miss a thing. What I'm seeing. The copy, get free access to exclusive printables. The creative, I like the cute possum, and she has her book titles. The call to action, there's actually 2 calls to action on this screen, so I'm not in love with it. There's shop her titles on Amazon. You don't want to miss a sale. I get it. But then there's also this submit, and I'm still not really sure what I'm getting. Free access to exclusive printables delivered directly in your inbox. I would make the value a little clearer. There's always room for improvement. Children's books are hard. But she's like, I would still rather take the sale than the email, and I would almost flip it. Another example, join the STEM Gems movement. Sign up today and be the first get notified about recent news and events. Kind of boring. No thanks. What do I get when I join the STEM Gems movement? What do I get? Do I get something? Do I contribute? Does my name get added to something to help girls in STEM? Like, I want to be part of the movement. I want to, there needs to be more of an oomph here. There's zero creative, there's no copy, there's no hook. Okay. Some of you on the call maybe know Lori Wright. She's incredible. So I went to her website to check. She has 2 lead magnets on her website. Okay. The hook, transform your classroom into a confidence building sanctuary. So she's targeting teachers. The creative Kid Confidence Chronicles. Super cute. For teachers seeking to foster growth beyond academics, new 2-week email series designed to help you nurture self-esteem in your students, even if you're short on time and resources. Great. So this is what we call an objection. So in her copy, she put, here's what you get, even if you have this objection. So she erased the objection. It's 100% free. Watch your classroom bloom with confidence in no time. Email address, here's another repetition, transform your classroom into confidence building. So the hook and the call to action are the same. I think it's great. Here, I would have put like 2-week email series. I would just put something there, but that's me. This is the second one on her website. I think this one's a little less great. But this popped up as I was exiting her website. So great way to try to catch people one more time. The creative, it's not really telling me much. It's just kids, they're cute, but there's really nothing there. The hook, ready to practice daily gratitude with your child or students, get the free gratitude growth journal instantly. For me, for the creative, I would have had like growth journal printable to indicate, that you're getting something. Put that in there somewhere. There's no copy, and the call to action is practice gratitude now instead of like download a growth journal. Yeah. So I would change this a little bit, but she does have 2 that are up there. Again, we all have room for improvement. Classic example of what not to do. This is a traditional publisher. Oof. Sign up for updates. Get news from Holiday House in your inbox. Email, first name, last name, city, state, company, and then which email newsletter do you want to join? How about none? Okay. So that's an example of not there. I thought I was presenting about judgment. There's a little judgment on the last one because this is so old. This should be taken down. This is remnant from like 2012 and shouldn't be up anymore. We're way past this. People aren't signing up. Okay. There is a 2-pronged approach to attracting readers. So we have like the pre-story lead magnet. These are people who haven't read anything, and we're introducing them to the writing. So we're brand new. We're either established authors, but we're starting a new genre, or this is the first book, or this is only the second book, and we never really did audience building first time. Whatever it is, we need to introduce people to our writing. We're constantly finding new people. There's infinite people out there, believe it or not, who haven't read your writing yet. So we need to introduce them. We need to bring them in. So this is, an excerpt or a free ebook or something, introduce them. Then we also have post story. So once you have your book out there on Amazon, these are people who've already purchased and read your book, but we don't have their information because Amazon has their information. Amazon's not sharing who's reading our books. So in your book, you can either say, continue to read extra chapters, exclusive content, the alternate reading, sign up to get more updates, whatever it is, sign up to be notified of our next release, something so that you capture them. So they already have your book. They say, hey, thanks for the book. This is great. I love this book. I bought it on Amazon because it was recommended by a friend. And in your front stuff here, you could easily put, download the resources that go along with this. Be sure to access the whatever free printable that pairs with this to help you navigate this book. It's not a checklist. It's something to help you navigate the book that you've already purchased. It's helpful information. And you get your email. Exclusive content. Okay, so Ingrid Seymour, this is the pre-story lead magnet right there. And then something very, very simple, just receive exclusive news. This is the very passive, like I'm just putting it up there in case someone, because what happens is if we don't do this, what you get is like your Aunt Martha, who's like, I don't want your ebook. I'm not going to sign up. And they never join the email list, even though they're like, oh, I do want to hear when you launch your book. I just don't want your ebook right now. So give them a way just to enter information. Be like, yes, I give you permission to email me, but I don't want to download your ebook. When we only tie things to a magnet, we get people who are saying, I don't want the thing. And then they just never join the list, as opposed to like, no, I'll get updates from you. That's fine. Let me know. I'm curious. They're kind of casual. They want to follow along. Let them join. So we need both. This is the two-pronged approach. All right. Sending traffic to your lead magnet is exactly the same as sending traffic to your paid offer. It's the same thing. We are just changing the hook, the copy, and the call to action. So instead of, buy the book, read the story here, you're saying download for free, learn more, whatever it is. So it's the same thing. There's no difference. The difference is the link that you put there, or the creative that you're sharing, or the video, and then the link that goes with that, or how you talk to people and say, hey, here is the thing. I keep talking about it. You do this in social media. You do run paid ads, website embed form pop-up. So if you're writing blogs a lot, you're writing a lot of blogs and you're sending people to your website to read your blogs, you want there to be either the embed form on the side of the blog saying, hey, don't forget, download my ebook, my free ebook story. I don't know. Oh, okay. So when you're sending, so it's like a cascade effect. You're creating content and then you're putting your lead magnet to show up on people's faces when they're on your content. Podcast content, same idea. Podcasts can be tricky because people are listening and they're doing other things, or they're going for their walk and they're not like on their phone. So it can be tricky. It's easier to do this on blogs. It's easier to do this on like YouTube, where people are probably more likely sitting and watching as opposed to on their phones. So this is where knowing if you have mobile traffic or desktop traffic is really important. Other author newsletters. This one is always tricky because a lot of authors are like not wanting to send people to free things, but you never know, maybe communicate with each other. Your Amazon author page can absolutely always have like something. It may not be hyperlinked, but someone could copy and paste it. It's worth trying. And then the preview front matter section of your book for sale. This is helpful because if people can preview the first 20% of your book on Amazon and it's in there, so as they're scrolling through and there's a hyperlink, they may just go ahead and click it. You can try. That's what I would do. Okay, so now when we actually construct a lead magnet, it's super easy, and it can be super easy. It can be complicated as well, but we can keep this super easy. That my goal is to keep this like get started right away. If you're delivering a PDF, upload your PDF, like you may have to shrink it down, especially if you're doing like a big document. You may have to shrink it down. So shrink my PDF, make it small so that people can get it. Upload it to any other site. It can be a website, it can be Google Drive, it can be Dropbox, whatever, but you need a URL. That's the key. The URL is what people are going to click to access the document. We're not going to send the document via email. That's going to be way too manual. We're not doing that. We're going to do it so it's automated, so that when they sign up and it says, oh, congratulations, you were all signed up. Here it is. Click here to start reading right away. They can just click on that link and it takes them right to the ebook or the audiobook or whatever it is that you're sending to them. Other websites like BookFunnel can handle the distribution. So you can upload your EPUB or your specific ebook file. So if you do have an ebook, you can get it to them and they'll, you can collect email addresses that way as well. If you are delivering video, audio, etc., you have to grab the URL and do the same thing. So super, super easy. We're keeping it like really easy. There's enough other complicated things. The actual delivery of the product should be no problem. Okay, remember the end goal that we have in mind. Are you building a new audience? If so, we have to, after we collect their emails, introduce your writing and create an email sequence that introduces you and your stories to the readers. Are you getting feedback? Are you saying like, hey, please provide feedback on the first few chapters? You have to introduce your writings and then you have to ask direct questions to get that feedback, or questionnaire or surveys or quizzes or something in email. Make it easy, make it super easy for people to give you feedback. Some people don't want to just hit reply for feedback because it's not anonymous. So you may have to say, click here to fill in this anonymous survey. I want your honest feedback. So you may have to get, a little creative with how you collect feedback so that it truly is anonymous, so people feel good about giving you that feedback. If you're doing advanced reader copies, reviews, you have to introduce your writing, and then you have to ask for the specific thing. Like, what are you actually asking for? Do you want reviews? Do you want shares? Do you want promotions on social media? What is it? And then every single email you send should have one call to action. You're missing an opportunity if you're not asking people to do something. Like, you're offering value, you're offering story, you're offering inspiration, you're offering content. You can ask them for something. Reply to this email, let me know what you thought. Reply to this email, let me know if you have any questions. That's engagement, feedback. Reply and let me know what else you want me to talk about. Reply once you've listened to the podcast and tell me your thoughts. Click here to buy. Click here to download. Click here. There has to be one call to action. So when we're building an audience, you're good. They don't know who you are. It's kind of like dating. We have to warm them up before we ask for the sale. You can't just be like, ba-dum. You have to have significantly warmed them up. Maybe 4 or 5 emails, 7 emails. I don't know. You have to see. You have to see and test. Test it out. Engagement and feedback. Again, hit reply to this email. Let me know what you think. Click here to leave anonymous feedback, whatever it is. If you're looking for ARC reviews, you need to direct your readers to leave a review on Amazon Goodreads. Make it super easy for them. Give them the link. Tell them what hashtags to use so that you can find their review and amplify and share on your social media accounts as well. All right. So we have the hook, the words you're going to repeat, the copy, what it actually looks like, what we're saying on the lead magnet, the call to action, and then the creative and visuals. You can use your book cover, or we can use other visuals as you saw in the previous instructions. Where to build your lead magnet. There's tons of email services. Pick which one you like. A lot of them have free trials. You can test them out. And then I would start with either a free trial or something that's relatively low cost so that you have time to experiment and to see, before. I wouldn't commit to an annual fee until you're sure that you really like it. But you do want one that can expand with you. So as you grow, you can grow with it. And then put it everywhere, sprinkle it everywhere all the time. Social media is so noisy. You have to give people multiple chances to find you and see you, and you have to direct people there multiple times. So don't be afraid to put it everywhere. How many lead magnets do you need? That's a good question. 100, I don't know. How many songs do musicians release on the radio to sell their albums? 1, 3, 2. Which song did they release? They don't know. But generally, it's the song that they feel is going to be the most commercial hit that's going to resonate with the most people. So they release their best stuff for free. So the first two best songs on any album is what gets put out there and heavily marketed, tons of marketing dollars behind those songs because they know that that's going to drive sales. Okay. So what type of lead magnets work best? So this is old survey 2020. I know things have changed, but you can check it out if you want. So 47% of marketers, I think this has only gone up, has said that video lead magnets work best. And then text-based would be next. So ebooks. So it's right in there. Video, if you have a children's book, you might want to do, like the children's video reading. Here's the link to the video. You can see if that works. Again, you have to test it out. And then within the types, these two types, the video and the text, they say it's the short form content that works best. So 30%, less than 30% said they saw higher conversion rates with long form videos, and everyone else said long form written content. It's better with short form. All right, so here's how we're going to construct the hook. Here are 3 examples that you can do to construct your hook. Discover how to blank. So you can blank without objection, without pain, without fear, without tears. Finally, a proven way to actually blank without blank. More instructions are coming, so don't worry. How a blank was able to blank even though blank, or without having to blank. Again, we're putting the objections in there to differentiate it so that people can very clearly see why they should grab your lead magnet. Okay, discover how your target reader will achieve outcome so you can achieve outcome without objection. Finally, a proven way to actually achieve outcome without sweating. How a target reader was able to achieve outcome without having to do something they don't want to do. All right, more examples. Discover how your 5-year-old will love to read the story on their own so you can introduce your favorite family stories without tears at bedtime. That one needs a little work, but you get the idea. And especially if you have reader reviews from 5-year-olds who are reading on their own, reading the story on their own, and you have this, take those words and put them in there. Use your reader reviews to fuel the words that are used in your lead magnet to attract more readers like that. Use their words. And if you don't have reader reviews yet, scan the reader reviews of your comp titles to see what people are saying about those. And you don't, I'm not saying use those words as your reader reviews. I'm saying take the language so that the language resonates, so that the emotions are there, so you know what people are looking for. Finally, a proven way to actually have a level-headed conversation about politics without losing your cool at the family Thanksgiving table. I thought that was timely. I would download that. How is that possible? It seems like mission impossible. How a kindergarten teacher was able to run a classroom with 33 5-year-olds without having to raise their voice above normal speaking volume. Sounds like magic. Click here to download. So that's the hook. Okay. Quickly, we're doing great on time here. So with the analytics on your lead magnet, we have to look for, there are different scenarios because we can throw something out and then it just flops and we're like, what happened? So if you are getting clicks, but no conversions, no one's converting, you have to experiment. You're getting traffic, but it's not working. No one's actually signing up. You have to experiment with the creative, the hook, and the copy because you're getting traffic to it. So maybe the hook is there, maybe the creative works, but maybe the copy is just falling flat. Or your process is broken. I had to do this. I was running ads to it and I'm like, that's weird. Getting a lot of clicks, but no one has signed up yet. No, because it was not live. It was not active. I did not actively set it up. So if you can't just dump people to a website that's like not quite ready or the button doesn't work or something. Like you need to test your process and go through it before you start driving traffic to it and refine that. Because if there's too much friction, or if people are confused or they don't know what to click, or what you have on the landing page doesn't match the same, even if it's, even the title's a little off, people are like, wait, what, where am I? And they maybe just back out and they don't continue through. So test the process, go back and refine things. If you're getting signups, but you have a low open rate in your email sequence, you might need to experiment with your email headlines. And you might also be getting fake signups. I don't know why, but there may be people who are clicking who aren't really interested in your thing. So I would look and see, okay, where are you getting this traffic from? And then also experiment with the email headlines if people aren't opening, because there's a disconnect there. Or maybe your lead magnet isn't quite where you offering what you want, because it's not translating when you start using the email to warm people up. If you're getting signups to your lead magnet and you have, and here click to book sales and it's not working, you're getting good traffic, you're getting good signups, but it's not leading to book sales, you need to look at your email sequence and see where people are no longer reading. So maybe you need to introduce the sale a little earlier. Maybe they need more time to warm up. Maybe the sequence is too distant between. Maybe you have like 3 days in between emails and people are like, huh? So I don't remember that the lead magnet was tied to the book. So sometimes you have to introduce the sale earlier, especially if you're giving them like the ebook to read, just click here to buy, because they were so excited to read it, to download it. As soon as they're done at the end, if I want to keep reading, I want to buy it right now. Maybe the call to action isn't clear. Maybe it's not clear. So it's not actively getting book sales. You could make it super simple. Click here to buy the whole story. Or is lead magnet entirely off? Is it not generating interest or desire in the book that you're trying to sell? That's the hard part. So here are some more statistics. This is from May 2023 on HubSpot, which is really like the number one for like marketing in terms of like big agency stuff. 4 billion daily email users, not really relevant, but a number of brands are increasing their email budget, and a majority of marketers are using mobile-friendly email as part of the marketing strategy. And then 33% of marketers send weekly emails, and 26% send emails multiple times each month. It's actually not as many people sending weekly as you would think, but a third are. And then 77% have seen an increase in email engagement over the last 12 months. Smartphone users prefer to receive brand communications via email. This is also interesting, and this conflicts a little with SMS marketing. You could do all this with SMS marketing. It just has to be a lot shorter. And then, of course, testing your emails leads to higher return on investment. Great. So some email benchmarking. This is from Miller Lite. Open rate, 37%. This is across all industries. If you go to their blog and just type in email benchmarks, you can come up with like a whole list of what the open rates are per, they have like, they don't have books or authors, but they do have like education, and they do have art as well. 3% click rate. Click-through rate is the number of people who like open and click. So it's a little different. Unsubscribe rate is low, and the bounce rate is pretty low. No, excuse me. Okay. The resources, again, with email service providers, I really like Miller Lite, but other people like Constant Contact, Active Campaign, ConvertKit. Okay. So up to you as to what you want to do to get started, but any of them will work. You can make your emails pretty with these really simple templates if you want, or the email service providers now have tons of templates. So it's really easy to do it. But if you want like a custom bespoke email template, of course you can buy it. And HTML is no code. It's easy, just drag and drop. Also, I analyze all my headlines with CoSchedule Headline Studio. Everything now is AI optimized. You can't not have an AI integrated into any of these, which this is how it is. So yes, this is AI optimized. They all are if you do any AI solution, it's going to be, but I really like this one. I've been using this since before AI was ever around. And of course, they've now integrated AI into their service. And that's what they do. There are two major ebook delivery systems that authors are using, BookFunnel and Prolific Works. I think Prolific Works is a little cheaper, but I'm more familiar with BookFunnel. Again, it's just what I'm familiar with. Feel free to check them out. And of course, graphics on Canva. I have the professional version because it's worth its weight in gold. Also, there's AI there too. Now, just to finish saying, after all this lead magnet stuff, sometimes people just want the book. Sometimes people just really, really, really want the book. They don't want your lead magnet. So you may get really low conversions on the lead magnet because people are like, I just want the book. I don't want your free thing. I just want the book. Which is really frustrating as a business person because you're like, well, I want your contact information as well. Also, authors tend to struggle with lead magnets because books are relatively low priced products to start with. So it feels like offering it for free devalues it even further. You're like, you won't even spend $12. Like, come on, I'm not asking for 500. This is where like the value comes into it and where we need to just look at our writing as infinite and boundless and priceless, and that this is just part of the game. We're just experimenting with what lead magnets attract the most readers and the right readers so that we can get more book sales and discussion and feedback and engage with our readers in a more meaningful way. Now, the potential solution I already mentioned, keep your ebook for sale so readers can see the price, or whatever it is, ebook, lead magnet, whatever it is. You can say you can buy it here or you can download it for free on my website. Up to you. As long as you don't enroll your book in Kindle Unlimited that demands exclusivity, you can do this, no problem. If you have a fiction book or a multiple chapter book, you can still offer the freebie lead magnet, but it has to be the same 20% of the book that's available on Amazon. Amazon can't not allow you to collect emails on the same 20% they're giving out for free. So you can always do that too. That's a little workaround the Kindle Unlimited program. And then on this one, I'm actually going to say, don't think like a publisher. Think like a business person, but also think like a very agile, creative, flexible business person. So we don't have the same budgets as a traditional publisher. So just be careful with what strategies you emulate. And, I went to those publishers' websites and woof, they really are limited. They're not building their email list. They rely a lot on like their marketing team. The email opt-ins there are really horrible. So we need to have more flexibility, more creativity, and more freedom to experiment, more like an entrepreneur, because that's where we are. So don't think like a big publishing house. Think like an agile entrepreneur. And of course, we can utilize social media to your advantage. So all of that is there. All right, I'm going to stop here and see how we are doing. Any questions? I know there's a lot.
I had a quick question, Lisa, about you had shown the pictures of the lead magnets on social media. Somebody had those posts. If you remember what I was, yeah.
Which ones?
The ones at the beginning, very beginning. Oh, yeah. Well, it doesn't. Okay, so, not that one. The other one.
This one.
This one, yeah.
Okay.
So you had mentioned that here's the hook, creative call to action, and then the copy. Where is the copy in this whole process? Is it you're talking about the thing that they write at the top?
Yes, or the bottom. So this is actually
the image, right?
Right. So this is a screenshot of Instagram, believe it or not. And then this is the same exact image that was on Facebook, but the Facebook copy is before it. And it actually gets cut off so that it's just like see more. So it turns into like a blue see more
right
thing.
This is that see more part, basically,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So you can see more.
Got it.
And then
And
if you go to Meta Ads Library, it's old Facebook, Facebook library. We can go to all. We're going to choose all ads. And then you can search, what did I do? Facebook, something like that. But if you know, let's see, you can see a lot. But if you like, let's say you know Diana Bishop. Let's see. Is that what it was? Yeah. Diana Bishop
mm,
collection. You can see everything that she's running.
got it.
Active, active, active. So you know, 5 ads. So you can go through and you can see, okay, which ones is she? This one is inactive. So you
And then
can
you can see
get a
what
lot of
platform.
information on this.
Yeah. You can see all their Instagram posts too.
Yep. Which is great. I think in the EU, we can actually see more than in the US because of GDPR and transparency. And so you can see pricing, so you can see everything.
Mm.
So it's really great if you want to have an idea as to, you know, what's working, what's running,
Mhm.
and what's not. You know, if it's inactive, see that's active. If it's inactive, you know, maybe I wonder why it wasn't getting results for her. So it may be also a good way to say, okay, I'm not going to even bother with that type of a creative. I'm going to start with these other creatives that are currently active and running. So that because that must be, you know, what's kind of working. Does that help?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
Lisa, how long should you run your lead magnet before you change it up to something else?
That's a good question. I would it's a big like it depends because it can take time to get it out there and to get people to get eyes on it and to get feedback. I would say, you know, it depends on what you're offering and how much you're putting into it. So if you are running paid traffic to it and you're getting a lot of traffic to it and it's not converting, you have to look at, you know, the audience and everything. But then I would say like, okay, a week, maybe 5 days of running paid traffic to it and be like, something's not right. And you need to experiment with it. The hard part is that there's so many moving pieces. So you have to kind of tinker slowly and give yourself time to see the results of that tinkering because it may be just the creative that needs to change. It may be the hook. It may be the whole thing. But you don't know if you cancel everything, you won't know. So it's almost like you have to. That's where the when you're running all these ads, you can keep the copy the same and experiment with just the different creative. So whenever you're building ads, you can just copy it and then change the creative or copy it and change the copy. So you can see, okay, I'm going to run all these different ads at the same time, and I'm going to get the results of, different creatives. So I can say, okay, it's this creative that's working the best and getting the best results for me. And you turn off the other ones. I would say if you're running paid traffic to it at $10 a day, I would say after 5 days, you'll definitely know. If you're doing organic traffic, you got to give it more time because that organic traffic is slow. It can be very slow. Great question. Other questions?
Did you have a particular rate in mind? That she had a good question. So when we look at the Mailer Lite, the form on our website, the landing page,
Yeah.
it actually shows you the rate in Mailer Lite. It tells you what the transfer rate is. So there's 675 visits, and then it gives you the number of people that signed up.
Yes.
Is there a particular success rate that would give you an indication that it's good or bad? Or I think mine sits around 20%. That's what it says on Mailer
Okay.
Lite. I
So
don't think it's too
so
bad.
you're converting 20% of the people who see that page are signing up.
I think so. I mean, Mailer
Yeah.
Lite, so it's yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. I would say that, that's really good. And you're just driving organic traffic to it.
yeah,
Um, and right now yours is also tied to your ebook, to your
yeah.
sample
The first
chapter.
chapter. Yep.
So again, I would do this double pronged approach where you give people the option to sign up, sign up
Without.
two different ways,
Okay.
and you can put stuff like this everywhere on your website. So you can put this at
Yeah.
the bottom of every post that you have, of every blog, of everything. Because again, I
Yeah.
think in your scenario, some people may be saying, I just want to be notified when the book goes live. I don't need to read a chapter now. I'm good. And so they're not clicking on it. They're not downloading it.
Right. Because it sounds time consuming or
Yeah. And they're
whatever.
like, yeah, he wants
And they are
feedback. I'm not
just
going to give him
interested
feedback.
in book stuff.
but
Yeah.
but I am interested, when he launches. So you have to give people multiple ways to sign up for the list. And there's like infinite number of ways to do this. You could say, join my, book group discussion, join my challenge, join my this. I mean, Mike, since you have nonfiction, you have like all these interviews that you're doing and like lessons learned from the interviews from all these people from your podcast. I mean, there's so much content there that you have that you could distill the
Yeah. Somewhere
learnings.
else. Yeah.
Exactly. So you could cherry pick. And for you, I would experiment with like what are the main emotions or outcomes that people are looking for from your book? Like
Mhm.
because your book is like a constellation of things, of experiences and stories. What are the songs on the album that are going to resonate with the most people that people
Yeah. That's what
really
I'm
want to
thinking.
hear about?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking the same. That's what I was thinking when you said that. Was I
Yeah.
really want to put the best thing forward to get them excited about the
Exactly.
rest.
Because right now I think you have like, download a sample chapter. I
Yeah.
would be very specific. Download this, you know, thing that solves this. We have to go back to here. It's your
Mhm.
writing, it's sample chapter, but it's more
Yeah.
than that. It
Yeah.
is the introduction to this process that I'm
Yeah.
going to lead you through to get you to understanding this very disparate, divided world we live in, so that we can be better people, so we can have better conversations. We can have difficult conversations without losing our
Yeah.
cool. Like, this is the
And
chapter
I
that's going to help you.
I believe that was the feedback I got from that guy I mentioned yesterday, was that he felt that the first chapter was disconnected from the overall, like I said, like offering the solution on the front cover. So there's just something
Right.
missing.
Right.
It
Exactly.
wasn't. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have the disconnect. Like, your lead magnet is not resonating with people. 20%, we can do better than that. We can do better. So
Yeah.
because people are intrigued by the creative, by the book cover and your hook, which is your book title. Can we love
Yeah.
and relate in a polarized world? And then when they're reading a chapter that's not about that, they're like,
Right.
wait a minute. I want to know. Can we? I want to know. So you
Yeah.
need to introduce this,
Yeah.
this fundamental belief that you have, that yes, we can love and relate in a polarized world. That's in the book. So you need to introduce this overarching belief. You have to
Yeah.
introduce it and say, in this story, I'm going to get you from this polarized, divided world into a world where we can all coexist and become a community again, and find our people. And I'm
Yeah.
going to take you there through my experiences and my stories. So get in the car. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think tweaking your lead magnet is going to result in a lot
Yeah.
more signups if you get super specific on the problem, the overarching belief you really want to promote in the chapter. Like, what is the chapter doing for the reader? And
Mm.
then the main emotional mental state people want to be in once they're done reading your book.
Yeah.
Good. Good food for thought. Good question there. Excellent. Anybody else have any questions, comments, experiences they want to share? It's not easy. None of this is easy. Getting this part right is like, can be very difficult. And it's different for everybody. So it's kind of like, you talk to someone, they're like, oh, I did this. And you're like, oh, it's not gonna work for me. You have completely different books or with completely different audiences, or, oh, okay. And again, this hook is something you have to tweak and change and play with and experiment. And we didn't even get into the graphic design of your lead magnet, but that's a whole other thing. It's like, how large do you make the things? The design of the creative, how large do you have the hook, how all of this. There's a whole other graphic element as well that goes into it. And so I hope that just by seeing how a Facebook marketer approaches Facebook marketing, we can kind of look at it and see how many different ways this person is experimenting, just so you don't feel negative about the number of attempts it's going to take. You try once and it kind of falls flat and you're like, oh, that's it, I'm done. I'm not destined for this marketing thing. It's like, no, this is what it is. This is actually what it is. And I think it's until we see kind of, you can go to the nth level with it. You don't have to do this many, but you absolutely can, because it can take that many ways, different ways to learn what resonates with people. And what's working on social media is changing literally every day. It's a lot of video, a lot of GIFs, a lot of reels. Reels are huge. It's changing all the time. You can see face forward reels, big text results. So it really does, it's less curated, and it's a little, this is very Canva-y, if I can tell. And that's inactive. So I have a feeling that the other ones, the more face forward reels type style, is working better. It's getting more video plays, more engagement. Take a break from posting, run ads instead. That sounds so relaxing. That sounds so relaxing. But so I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed, but I also don't want people to feel discouraged. If you've tried in the past and it hasn't worked out, it's like, it's okay. That's part of it as well, is testing what works and what doesn't work. And then, keep trying. What we don't want to do is send a lot of paid traffic to lead magnet that is not converting at all. Then that's the problem. Then we need to fix the process. We have to figure out what's going on there before we can start. That's why it's good to do some organic posting, see if you get any results that way. And then you can take the best of those and turn those into paid ads. All right. Well, if you have any other questions as you're working through, as you're developing your hooks or creative, or you need any feedback at all, feel free to reach out. Let me know. I would love to see what you guys come up with, and of course, how it works out. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
so
Lisa.
much for joining.